Next plague is the frogs. It says once the plague came, it says הנה אנוכי נוגף את כל גבוליך בצפרדעים ושרץ היאור צפרדעים ועלו ובאו בביתך ובחדר בשכביך ועל מיטתך ובבית עבדיך ובעמך ובתנוריך ובשערותיך. So it says but if you refuse to send out, behold, I shall strike your entire boundary with frogs. The river will swarm with frogs, and they shall ascend and come into your palace, and your bedroom, and your bed, and into your house, and your servants, and your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading bowls, and into you, and your people, and all your servants will the frogs ascend. So one thing is about the frogs. The frogs was outright torture. There's actually in the Parashat, there's 10 times it says tzfardeim. The reason why it says tzfardeim 10 times is because it says that the frogs were so bad, it was as bad as all of the plagues put together. Because they couldn't go anywhere without having frogs. Even when they would have sweat, they would sweat. Their sweat, anything that was water would turn into frogs. The sweat will turn into frogs. Frog, it says the frogs are going into you. The frogs were inside their bodies. Mm-hmm. And it also would eat part of their private parts and actually make some people not able to have kids. This is some serious punishment. Also, the frogs would literally be everywhere. There would be nothing that they can't have. The frogs wouldn't be. But something very interesting is that once the plague comes, it says, this is in chapter 8, verse 2. It says, Yaron stretched his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frog infestation ascended. Not frogs. It says frog. Lama frog. It says, Vatzfardea. Lo tzfardeim. There's 10 times it says tzfardeim, but one time it says tzfardea. With the beginning, it says tzfardea. One tzfardea. Why? Rashi says that originally, or actually Rabbi Akiva says, originally, the plague started with one giant frog. One giant frog, and every time the Egyptians tried to kill it, this giant frog, and every time they would hit it, millions of frogs would come out of it. And they would hit it again, and more frogs would come out of it. So this, and even though after a while, you hit it one time, more frogs come out. You hit it 2 times, more frogs come out. You hit it another time, more frogs come out. After 3-4 times, you realize it's not working. Right? But they would still hit it. And it got to the point where the frogs filled the entire land, all the way to the border. Why? Because it got to a point where they were so angry, they just wanted to have revenge on the frog. Ever meet somebody that says, listen, I don't care if I spend every dollar that I have suing this guy, I'm going to make sure he goes broke. I don't care what I have to do. Even if I get arrested, I'm going to make sure he gets in trouble or something happens. People that want to take revenge. Mm-hmm. Revenge is not a good thing. It says only Hashem is allowed to take revenge. So the revenge is not for us to take. And when someone lives their life with revenge in their mind, they can't think clearly. And that's exactly what happened. It only causes more damage. So with one of the things that the frogs uncovered that made the situation for the Egyptians worse, where they end up losing money, is because the Egyptians and the nation of Cush had a war. They were at war for where the border is, where the border of Cush and Egypt was. Mm-hmm. And this plague, it says that the tzfardeim, all the frogs, went all the way until the border. So they would stop exactly at the border of Cush, which was where Cush thought was the border, not where the Egyptians thought were the border. So, So in essence, the Egyptians ended up losing some land because of it. So it hurt their pocket also. Next one is kinin. Oh, I'm sorry. The Sfaldea, the frogs. Why do we get it? The measure for measure. Each one of the punishments was measure for measure. One of the ways that the Egyptians would torture the Jews is by waking them up in the middle of the night with a lot of noises to get them to work. At 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, a lot of noises says, oh, you don't let my people sleep, you're not going to sleep either. So the frogs were quacking non-stop the whole night, not allowing anyone to sleep. Imagine that the quack is not just outside, it's inside your body.
So now you're Am Yisrael. The frogs are chirping, they're doing their thing, they're jumping around, and you don't hear it. Am Yisrael doesn't hear it, doesn't get
Am Yisrael lives in Goshen. So the frogs would not go inside Goshen. They would stay in the border. They wouldn't go inside Goshen. Frogs knew, just like the frogs knew to go to the border of Cush and not go inside Cush also and spread even outside of Egypt. The same one that brought him here is the one that controls. And that's why at the end, once Paro asked pleaded with Moshe to stop this plague, the frogs. He said that these frogs will only go. They're only going to be in the back in the Nile. The rest of them are going to die. So the frogs, a lot of them actually went into the Nile, but a lot of them jumped into a fire, into the ovens, and died, like committed suicide. Why? Because that was the order of Hashem. Hashem said, you all need to go, you need to leave. Either die, go to the water. So a lot of frogs died on Kiddush Hashem, doing what Hashem wanted them to do.
If the Egyptians went to Goshen, he wanted to step. He started going to Goshen. Now he's in Goshen.
Oh, he's already in Goshen. I think the frogs would be on top of him, inside him, everything, but it still wouldn't affect any Jews.
So he wouldn't be able to even make it to Goshen.
Same thing with the rest of with the plagues. The rest of the plagues did not affect the Jews. One actually midrash, and one midrash says that it wasn't frogs. It was actually crocodiles. There was also not only frogs, but there was also crocodiles. And there's an interesting midrash where it says here that there's only one saltwater crocodile today that's a man-eater, and it's called a estuarine crocodile. And in the Parashat it says that the only place they will ever exist after this plague is over is in the Nile. And this crocodile, the only place it exists is in the Nile.
Did it eat the people, this crocodile?
Yeah. What do you think, it was there to ask them if they want to have coffee, maybe?
No, I'm saying this crocodile, was he part of this plague?
Yes, there's a midrash that says that it wasn't just frogs, it was also crocodiles.
Because in the movie Exodus, the first plague they show is the crocodile, and I was like, "Whoa, where did they get this stuff?"
I didn't see it, but I heard that it has nothing. It's not exactly following the Torah.